Hello again, listeners, viewers, etc., etc. Welcome again to another session and interview of Beautiful Things Come From Struggle podcast. As y'all know, my name is Ernest, Big Nate Benjamin, Abdul Kawi, so on and so forth. And today, we got another extraordinary individual, and he's going to be talking about mental health awareness, and also his 501. And it goes by the name of Capo. So, everybody, I'm going to allow him to introduce himself.
Hey, Nate, pleasure, man. You having me on the show. So my name is Marquise. They call me Capo. I formerly formed a 501c3, a nonprofit geared towards helping incarcerated individuals that's, through the struggle, mentally, physically, and emotionally while navigating the system. So I'm from Boston, Mass, age 36, etc. And yeah, I'm happy and honored to be on the show.
All right, man. So that's what's up, man. Could you tell, the listeners, a little bit why mental health is so important to you and how you came to this realization, man? Because, there's been a few individuals that talk about mental health already, but it seemed like it's beginning to be a hot topic for discussion. And, we always talk about our physical health, doing the push-ups, pull-ups, lifting weights, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't think that we talk too much about working out that most important muscle, which is the mind.
Beautiful question. Beautiful question. So mental health, yeah, it's a big topic. Like when you think of mental health, you think of someone who's crazy, someone who's insane, right? But it's actually deeper. It's like self-awareness, right? It's knowledge of self, and especially in the black community, mental health goes deep because we were targeted and branded felons. The nigger word was replaced with felons. And when you carry that stigma, you're kind of locked out of society. You're locked into a second class citizenship, and that's difficult to navigate. So mental health it's a big thing, and you have to be aware. It's knowledge of self to know oneself.
That's man. That was really. I like that answer, man. But what I want to know is like, how did you, come into the realization where you wanted to like work on your mental health? You know what I'm saying? Like, and how you want to like be a part of that spoken the will to create a vehicle of change in dealing with mental health.
So for self, it's more like how I perceive things in life, right? Because your perception is everything, right? How you view things. You can view things in a negative. Mental health is important because it allows you to see things in a different light, right? To be able to use your mental to benefit the situation of happiness and chasing prosperity. Or you can use your mental in a negative and think yourself into a worse situation. So for me, I formally just came down with a diagnosis of a disease called psychodosis. And I took that to heart because once that hit me, I went into a dark stage. And mentally, it kind of it messed me up. So I could have let it destroy me, or I could become mentally strong. So what I did for people who don't know, it's called psychodosis, and Bernie Mac died of this disease. So for me, I call it the Bernie Mac. But what I did is I took it on to my own to research this and mentally grow from this. And what I learned is mind blowing because it affects your mental health, right? So if you're not careful about viewing of how you look at things, you can become sick internally. And I think it's very important, like I said once again, to become aware. So for me, it was the diagnosis of the psychodosis disease is what made me realize I need to focus more on my mental health and so on and so on.
Yeah, man. That's really. Yeah, I know I keep saying it, man. Redundant, man, with saying how profound that answer is, man. But to hear you acknowledge something that you're going through physically, and then understanding that you're dealing with it and battling with it with your physical, but how you're not allowing your mental destroy your physical, and you're taking your mental and making it into something positive is something that's really really I admire that in any individual, man. Um, but another thing that I've noticed. and I've had these conversations with many people, is this: is that do you find it taboo within the African American community in talking about mental health or illness today, or do you see it becoming more acceptable in you know in being able to talk about it?
Yeah, yeah. Love the question. Love the question. So that's such a loaded question because before, as I once spoke about, within the African American community, we were labeled felons, and so that goes deep, with being locked out of this citizenship, right? So I want to bring up a person called Maslow. He has a hierarchy theory, Maslow theory. So in his, he has a pyramid where at the bottom, psychological needs are supposed to be met. Then the second tier is safety, security. The third tier would be loving and belonging. The fourth tier would be self-esteem, and the last tier would be self-actualization. Sorry about that, listeners. So in the African community, we are targeted at the lowest of the lowest, which is the psychological needs, which is food, water, and shelter. Once again, once we are branded felons, we are unable to, gain housing, food stamps, etc. The list goes on of what we can't do as felons. And moving on to securing jobs and safety and security. So we are targeted, in that aspects of things, But today, I think a lot of people are awakening to the topic of mental health. Because back then it was like, yeah, you can't talk about mental health because it's like, yo, this person is crazy, right? But today, I think that we are more warm and open to talking about it. But once again, we're still dealing with that force of them attacking the Maslow theory.
Wow, I know I learned something so far, and I know you guys, you listeners out there. And again, man, this is beautiful things come from struggle, man. This man is going through a struggle, but a beautiful thing is coming up out of it, man. And he's also dropping knowledge. He's dropping gems, man. You know, do you feel like the same way with mental health? Like, do you feel like it's in prison? Like, do you feel like mental health is helping individuals in prison? Like people that are qualified to help individuals who have mental illness. Are they doing anything from your point of view?
Great question, Nate. Great question. So, I mean, flat out, to be honest with you, the prison system helping mental health. I mean, I'm a flat out say no. Us felons or us incarcerated individuals, us peer, leaders are helping the case of mental health. Doing the best that we can. Prison and mental health is contradictory. It doesn't go hand in hand. You can't say jail bars and cells is helping mental health because that's creating the beast. It's creating anxiety. So I want to bring forth something that's a Mental Health Act in 1963 under the Kennedy administration, which initiated the process of deinstitutionalizations, leading to large scale of closure of mental health hospitals and significant, it was significant community based closure as well as those kids. So when this act happened in 1963, it then spilled over to 1981, which was in Ronald Reagan. This led to a mass closure of hospitals, mental health hospitals, and what they did was they criminalized this mental health disorder and labeled them prison and felons. They incarcerated these people. So prison is not helping, is criminalizing it now, So the peers inside us, Big Nate, we're helping this, we're helping the cause, and we need you to join in.
Yeah, man, that's yo. I'm telling y'all, he's coming. He's coming, and it's true, man, because they say that I'll say about 80% of those incarcerated have a mental illness or defect, and they're not getting the help that they need. And because of that, that's why a lot of these men, a lot of these women are in prison. And as you guys also know, the large percentage of individuals who are incarcerated are being released, and then they're going back into the community. And then what happens? The same thing happens again. So I think that what the brother talked about is profound. I didn't even know about. what President Kennedy did and how what Ronald Reagan did, but it just spins it all. It's a web that has been spun. Um, do you feel like what are the steps like personally that you're taking, and not only strengthening your mind but also your physical well-being, brother?
So once again, listeners, as I formerly mentioned, this new diagnosis of psychodosis, it enlightened me a lot, and take care of your health, not just your mental health, but take care of your health. So the steps that I have been taking is, we have to exercise, but unfortunately for myself, I'm going through where I need a total hip replacement, and I'm only 36 years old, so it's not too much physical I could do besides walking, right? And I walk, drink a lot of water, whatever. But this enlightened me to target my diet. Cut out the red meat. Be careful and aware of what you eat and what you digest in your body. Just like your thoughts is becomes you, what you eat becomes you as well. So, far as walking for me, and on the mental health, you stay reading and you stay aware.
Yeah, man, that's really ill, man. So we're gonna end up, man, tying this up shortly. But is there other things that you're dealing with, in the long run that you got going on, brother, that you would like to tell the viewers and the listeners about what you have going on?
Yeah, so once again, so the 501c3, the nonprofit I didn't mention earlier, is called Americans Indeed. That's Americans Indeed, INDEED. And it was inspired by Michelle Alexandra from the New Jim Crow. So I want you guys to follow me. That'll be AmericansIndeed.org. That's the website, and Americans Indeed also will be on all social media platforms. Yeah, you can follow us and stay tuned, man.
Yeah, and Michelle Alexander, man, I read the book New Jim Crow. Excellent book. I implore each and every one of you listeners to read that book, man. It'll wake up that third eye, which is the mind. Well, with that, man, before we go, my good brother, do you wish to leave any parting words for our listeners before we wrap this up, brother?
Know thyself. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's mental health. So know yourself. Learn what's going on with yourself. Be aware. Be more aware of what's happening with your body, with your thoughts. Control your thoughts. Just because you have a thought don't mean you have to act on it.
Peace, peace. Beautiful things come from struggle. Support the movement. Support the brothers nonprofit. Support each and every one that we put up on this platform, on this podcast and YouTube channel, because we're here to reach, not preach. You know what I'm saying? We're here to reach, not preach. So with that, I want to say beautiful things come from struggle. Yo, blessings, peace, love, happiness, and let's make it happen. With that, peace.